And welcome back to Bros in a Landfill. Your host for today are the Ashite Chutar,
Hello, everybody.
the sandwich artist Lunchbillion.
Not anymore, bitch!
Well, even if you don't work there, you still make sandwich art.
That's your rep.
It's just for yourself.
Right.
It's just for yourself now.
It's my legacy.
And Trybien's also here, I guess.
Oh, whoa, what, dude? What's going on here? Whoa, who woke me up? Shit. Oh, fuck. Dizzy did the introduction.
Try, we're not allowed
everything's
to
falling
curse
apart.
in the first minute of the video.
God fucking damn it, you piece of shit edgelord.
Well, there goes
Fucking
our
disgrace.
Did you just call Ryan edgelord?
I am a fucking edgelord. Look at these. Look at these. Like lack of guns and like. I don't know. Oh, fuck.
Well, your hair isn't black, is the thing. So that's your
I got a
first
haircut.
problem.
I got a haircut yesterday, and it's quite nice.
You're looking pretty clean.
So Dizzy, why'd you call us here? What are we doing today?
I don't know. This is your show, man.
I don't know. It's your show now. I'm giving you the reins.
Oh, well, I'm going to immediately sell it to Google so we can make a cool $5 and never show up ever again.
Nice.
Excellent.
That's more money than we've ever made.
Buy
we'll
like
have to-
2
we'll
more
have
with
to
that. Oh, we'll have to split it. Shit.
We'll have to
How do
split
we
it
have to-
between the four of us.
How are you going to get it from
Well,
New Zealand to the U.S.?
I don't know. We gotta think about like exchange rates and everything. This sucks. It's gonna be even less money
Already
to
off
me.
to a horrible start.
Already up to the best start. I just wanted to get us going.
Okay, yeah. So yeah,
Do a real
Dizzy,
intro now.
Yeah. So Dizzy, what's do you know what time of year it is? And do you know what we do every time this year that you were looking forward to all this time?
Piss on Atlas?
Yeah, exactly. And what do we call when we piss on whatever Atlas?
I don't know. I was gonna
Atlas
say
is
something.
moon?
I was gonna say something totally different, but then I like my brain just totally farted, and I was like, I was like, what's something stupid I could say? I couldn't think of anything, so I just said what we actually do.
Yeah, I mean it's true, but what makes it different than any other time of the year that we piss on Atlas?
We have a focused idea of what we're doing.
Cool.
Merry
It's
Jack
Jack Frostmas,
Frostmas,
everybody.
where you can he-ho-ho-ho something.
He ho ho right back up into your mother's womb.
I'm throwing out my audio. This episode sucks.
No, it's too late. You can't.
Too
you
late
can't
now.
You should have started the episode earlier.
We're binding of
I
Isaac.
was-
We're binding of Isaacing this bitch.
Oh, no.
Ay.
Yeah.
What are we even
Mamma
talking
mia.
about?
So, Dizzy, you've been playing a lot of Persona 5 recently. How's that been going?
Poorly.
Oh dear. Do I need to get the spray bottle again?
No, because I don't need.
This is the time of year where we're supposed to do that.
Yeah, plus
Oh,
the
yeah.
spray bottle froze.
That's true. It's cold.
I also sold
Not
it.
where lunch is,
I also
but it's
sold it
cold
to
here.
someone.
Noah's hot as fuck over here.
No,
It's
it's
a
cold where lunch is. He
beautiful
just
day
thinks it's
outside.
hot. Lunch just tricked himself into
Yeah,
thinking
so-
that it's cold.
So Dizzy's been playing Persona 5 for whatever God knows who knows reason. He's working. He hopefully next year will get out a video that he'll be like, oh yes, this is my Persona 5 video that isn't 5 hours long, but explains everything that's wrong with it in a.
No, it is 5 hours
One
long.
It'll be 4.
4.5.
I think
Yeah,
the
Dizzy
problem.
said it won't be.
reasonable.
Yeah, Dizzy said it won't be longer than 40 minutes.
This is the reason why I kind of
Wow.
want
Did
to
he?
restart this
I don't
is because
recall
even
this.
though I said it on last week's episode
Okay, that
at
would
the very
explain why.
beginning. God dang it.
Yeah.
I kind of legitimately want to start over because the thing
Yeah.
is that piss on Atlas is a very broad term because what the hell are you where's the lead in? That's
I
like
mean-
saying describe the Bible. Just which part?
The Bible of pissing on Atlas.
Yeah, describe the Bible of pissing on Atlas. Which part? Can you explain? Can you tell me about that one story in the book of Matthew? Which one? Oh, the one that involves Matthew. And then you're like,
I don't
like
want
we're
religion in my games.
piss on Atlas.
Shit.
How?
No,
On what
this is
regard?
Atlas talk. You can this is Atlas talk. Shouldn't Make Me Tensei is a game about religion. So get your controversial opinion about not having controversial opinions in your games, and get it out of this room because we're going all controversy today.
I mean, we can have like a serious discussion. I don't know. I have like the other problem too is that a lot of the shit I wanted to say about Atlas is not funny. So,
I mean,
like the storytelling is just completely gone from. You could argue that Atlas games storytelling was always bad, but it's definitely dipped like hardcore, and like it's so safe nowadays, which is funny considering that it's an M-rated game about the end of the world and Lucifer and angels fighting, and now it's like PG.
And speaking of that, I guess talking about like the games becoming simpler or a bit more dumbed down or whatever. I think this would be a good transition.
Yeah, I guess we're going lunch. I'm sorry.
Talking about the 2 Shin Megami Tensei games coming out earlier next year, which aren't new Shin Megami Tensei games whatsoever. We got Persona 5 Royal and Tokyo Mirage Sessions FE Sharp Encore here. I think it's called Encore. Or whatever.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So we have 2 remakes of Shin Megami Tensei games coming out early next year.
No. Say that second title again.
It's Tokyo Mirage Sessions FE Sharp. It's the Fire Emblem crossover game with Shin Megami Tensei.
The joke is that it's instead of SMT, it's TMS. Get it?
Yeah.
Get it?
It's also funny because there's also entertainment agency in Japan called TMS Entertainment. I don't know if that was intentional, but I think it's funny.
It will be intentional when the sequel comes out and they're the bad guys.
Yeah. But no, I've been talking with Dizzy and some people about this, but I am unironically more excited for the watered down crossover with Fire Emblem that has nothing really to do with Shin Megami Tensei other than a cheesy name, and that's about it.
I love that name. I think it's fantastic. It's a complete word salad, like fucking like what is going on?
I'm a fan of Hunter Night in Birth EXE late.
Yeah, but
that
was in a Landfill RPG.
That one bounces right off the outside of my head.
So we all know what fucking Persona 5 is. Even if you don't know what Persona 5 is, you know what Persona 5 is. Phantom Thieves stuff, whatever. But
no one knows what Persona 5 is.
I mean, if you listen to people's
even if you listen to a 5-hour rant about every single scene in the game, you don't know what Persona 5 is.
It's because Persona 5 has way too many writers for its own good.
It's because Persona 5 doesn't know what Persona 5 is.
Did you have way too many writers and like 3 directors working on it? Yeah, like there's so many clashes of vision in the game. It's ridiculous.
I think you and your friends are probably more interested in Tokyo Mirage. What was it called? Tokyo Mirage
Sessions FE Sharp.
Session FE Sharp. Probably because it's just its own. It's just its own thing. It's not Persona. It's just its own thing.
It's weirdly its own thing, but also sort of not, because the whole idea is you have these people working in like for this talent agency that somehow has like so right now going on in the world in the game, there's a this thing where it's having this weird crossover where with the Fire Emblem world, so these Fire Emblem characters are just like showing up as like spirits causing trouble, but also you have like certain characters who work for this talent agency that can like make bonds with them, so they basically become their personas.
Isn't the plot twist of the game like insert censor here?
There is no plot twist.
Oh, okay.
It is the main story of Tokyo Mirage.
My pretty boy power is to manifest an even prettier boy to act as my fucking warrior.
Yeah, basically,
dude.
Basically,
this is like that game sounds like the dream.
Yeah, no, it's coming out for Switch in a couple months, and I can't recommend it enough. Like, even though the story itself is very lackluster, it feels like a Wii or GameCube level game. Like there's in regards to like the type of JRPG, you got your narrow hallways, just a bunch of fights. It's graphically not that impressive, but there's always a lot of shit going on. The battles are a joy to watch. It's got a similar mechanic to the Radiant Historia games, if you've ever played it, where it's all about you're chaining attacks together. So you have all of your teammates all have like these skills that's like, if this attack happens, like from another character, I will hop in and do this attack. And it's about making a long string of attacks go into order. Then late game, you get these special skills that after a long chain you can do co-op attacks with each other, and they're all just performances based off of the things.
So you fight by dancing or something?
Well, kind of, but it's not really dancing because everybody has different like skills. Like, so you have some people who are like singers, you have like actors, you have like a cooking show host.
What? Is Gordon Ramsay there?
No, it's a little girl cooking show host.
He just abuses the enemies until they go away.
Yes, it's fucking raw.
But,
you call this a monster? I wouldn't serve this shit to my customer. I don't know. I'm not quick enough on my wits.
This squid is so raw. I can still hear it telling SpongeBob to fuck off.
There you go.
That's a major oof. But for me, the major draw of the game is it legitimately has a great battle system. It does take a lot of thought and strategy to make your team how you want it to be so you can pull off these long combos, whereas Persona 5, on the other hand, is very mindless as you go on.
Persona 5 was mindless to start with, but it was fast-paced, which is, everyone gave it so much praise for being fast-paced, but then the longer you play the game, they just keep adding pointless shit, and then suddenly the fights just start taking forever, and it's like, oh my god. Or they don't take forever, you just do the exact same thing the entire game, and then it's like, why did you give me so much shit?
Yeah, but the battles in Tokyo Mirage Session are I'd say probably just as flashy as Persona. However, they're far more dynamic because you have people hopping around the stage, jumping around, doing attacks and whatnot, jumping in from out of the you'll have your reserve party members jumping in from outside, coming in and attacking.
I'm still trying to visualize it though, like they're attacking by making it an omelet or like how.
It sounds like Madoka Magica.
What's happening?
No, they have weapons. They have weapons.
What's the point of being of being a famous fry chef if you're just gonna smash somebody with a blunt object?
No, but
tell that to what was that Miiverse.
Yeah, no, but that goes into their co-op attacks later and their special moves. Like that cooking chef has special moves where they cook to heal the party.
Okay, so everyone eats an omelet mid battle.
So basically, so it's like everybody's special moves are based off of whatever their career path is. But that kind of makes me want to go back to the thing. The way you get these characters to learn their special skills is by going through and doing these side stories with them, which are basically social links. But instead of becoming closer friends and whatnot, you're helping them in their career. You're because you're kind of yeah. Well, for that it's like learning recipes, confidence issues, whatever. Some of them are people trying to break into the industry. So you have this. My favorite character is this tokusatsu actor who acts on stage for kids, but he's trying to actually get into film acting, and then you're helping him through that throughout the game, doing side quests and whatnot. And as it goes on, he's getting new roles, and his new roles play into some of his special attacks. So I think that's
I wonder
cool.
if that's a breach of his contract. I wonder if he's allowed to do
major ooh. Well, no, it's the battles in a lot of these Persona-esque games
take place in this dream world. Got it. It's okay.
Yeah,
copyright infringement's okay in the dream world.
Exactly.
I got it.
I can listen to Michael Jackson's "Beat It" as much as I want in my dream without getting DMCA'd.
Yeah, well, that technology won't exist for another 20 years. In 20 years, they'll copyright strike your dreams. But for now, we're good.
Oh, fuck. Jeez. You know, if Disney could copy strike our dreams, they would.
They would.
That's the sad part. But
Tara, what do you think about Disney? Do you like their new mascot, Ralphie the Rat?
Oh no, it's not Ralphie the Rat. Oh fuck. No, but if you want if you want a JRPG that's Shin Megami Tensei Persona but you don't mind it not looking as quote unquote pretty as Persona, it actually has a lot of bright, flashy colors. So in some ways it looks better than Persona, in some ways, in other ways it doesn't look as good as Persona.
I mean, having only sort of looked at both of them, I think Persona 5 fucking oozes charisma
it oozes charisma,
Mirage. But
not its story.
I know. I'm not just saying it's better a game. I'm saying graphically, I think Tokyo Mirage Sessions is a large step down. But maybe the important things, like being able to cook an omelet.
Well, the game came out on the Wii U originally. It was originally a Wii U game.
Yes.
The only thing I really know about Persona 5 is rivers in the desert and wake up, get out there. So, I mean...
Yeah.
Persona 5 is known for its amazing soundtrack of 2 songs.
They're good songs!
But Persona 5, as opposed to Tokyo Rush Sessions, Persona 5 oozes with personality and oozes with individuality, but is incredibly suffered by, I think, almost too much personality and too much individuality, and doesn't really know what it wants to be. Like, it's trying to be so much different from all these other things, but it never really figures out what it actually is.
Are you saying that Persona 5 is a chunibyo?
Yes, Persona 5 is absolutely chunibyo.
You fucking nerds. What does that fucking mean?
Yes,
it means 8th grade. It means 8th grade syndrome, so basically dizzy.
Wow.
But no, it's basically people who
stunned them into silence.
No, I just have nothing to comment.
And this has been Bros in a Landfill signing off.
Jesus, maybe it should be.
Yeah.
Oof.
You fucking murdered him.
No, I'm fine, actually.
It was so uncalled for.
The only thing about me is that I'm such a boring Chunibyo that instead of role-playing as like any kind of great, powerful sorcerer or anything, I just role-play as a normal person. Or as close to normal as I can get.
That's the greatest fantasy you can come up with being normal.
But Dizzy, there is nothing more powerful in this world than being a normal person.
What about a steamroller?
A steamroller is pretty powerful.
I stand corrected. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Steamroller beats human.
I wish I was a steamroller. I would destroy all my enemies.
What enemies do you have?
I don't know. People with bad takes.
Like that guy who beat you with Peach?
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Oh my god.
Now you've killed me.
Yeah, fuck you, Darren Puyat. I'm gonna fucking kill you as a... I'm gonna kill you as a steamroller.
Lunch, you're gonna get this channel deleted because of harassment and bullying. What the hell?
I've got his children are gonna have no fucking father because I'm gonna be a steamroller.
I fucking can't even. What is this shit?
I regret bringing this up.
What is this shit?
Did you just say their children's father is gonna be a steamroller?
No, I'm a steamroller. I'm gonna. Look, it's okay. I actually like this man quite a lot.
For this bit.
No.
Yeah, Lunch. Where's the animatics?
That'll get taken off. He
made another one.
Yeah,
I know.
Like a year.
It took him a year to make.
Yeah, well, where are your animatics, bro?
Yeah, we can't exactly argue time. None of us are very.
None of us are good at time management.
Yeah, no.
Look,
Excuse me. I get the audio in every week. Excuse you. And I have a full-time job.
Well, look, I just want.
This is the worst Jack
look at you
Frostmas
being
ever, and
a
it's only the
functioning
second
member of
one.
society, drinking from your fucking to-go cup.
This is the worst.
It's
Jack
not a fucking
Frostmas
to-go
ever.
cup. It is
Your
a
fucking
built
thermos or
brand-
whatever.
It's a built brand thermos that is pure shiny something.
It's not even
piece of shit.
microwave safe, nerd.
Yeah, cool cylinder, bro.
Who needs microwaves?
Me?
Who needs a microwave safe when you have a kettle like an electric kettle to heat up hot water and pour fancy English green tea in it?
So try. Here's my question: would you rather drink green tea for you don't have to drink it for the entire hour. You don't have to like chug it, but would you rather drink green tea over the course of an hour, or would you rather play like Dx2?
I mean, I already do drink green tea over the course of an hour. So
No, but only
that's
1
kind of
hour.
That's fine.
And then the world ends.
Okay, that's fine.
With you.
I mean, Dx2 sounds
On
pretty
Nintendo
fun,
Switch.
but I mean, green tea in the world ending sounds even better.
And then
Sounds
the
like your
world ends
relaxing
with
way
you
to
on
watch it all
Switch.
go down, you know?
Just sipping a cup of hot tea,
I'm talking
watching the world burn around you.
Yeah.
No, the world's
I'll take
fine.
that.
The world ends with you on Switch, is what I was saying.
Yeah. I mean, the world ends with you on Switch is okay. It's got some cool stuff, but the extra chapter was kind of meh.
Please tell
Not
me
re-
the extra chapter referenced Kingdom Hearts.
I don't remember. I that was a blur. That extra chapter was a blur.
Hey, Lunch, did you know that the world ends with you is in Kingdom Hearts?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, of course.
I bring up Kingdom Hearts and Jack Frostmas because I don't have anything else to add.
Well, maybe it's your fault for not preparing for Jack Frostmas, Dizzy. This was your idea.
Jack Frostmas was your idea for one thing, and for the other thing is that I think the problem with Atlas is that you yell about him for a year, you kind of realize that, hang on a second, the reason no one watches these videos is because we keep saying the same thing. And the reason we keep saying the same thing is because Atlas does not uniquely screw up. It just does the same shit over and over forever.
Unlike
what are we supposed to say?
Unlike Bandai Namco, which just makes pachinko machines of all their properties and kill off all the properties.
That's exactly what Atlas does. Just without the pachinko machines.
DX2 is basically a pachinko machine.
Ooh.
What are we supposed to talk about on this Piss on Atlas episode? The fact that they screwed up the same way that they screwed up every other way during the year?
Well, maybe I can bring some positivity in here and start talking, because like I talked about Tokyo Mirage Sessions, which, despite being kind of a generic anime idol,
right.
I've heard people like that game.
Flipping the system.
I've heard good things. I've mostly just been making fun of you because it's easy.
But my point, but the funny thing is, despite it kind of being generic fan servicey idol, like not really being much Shin Megami Tensei, I enjoyed it far more, and I have fonder memories of it than Persona 5, the 100-hour like 10 out of 10 masterpiece that's like on like everybody's top 10 like games of the decade.
Everyone fucking loves Persona 5. It's crazy. I'm seeing people talk about games of the decade. So many people have been listing it. I'm like, this is crazy. This doesn't match the man that I have on the ground about this subject.
But it's a lot of people who don't play Shin Megami. Persona 5 is a lot of people's intro to Persona and Shin Megami Tensei.
Here's the thing that just confuses me so much about how much love Persona 5 gets. It's like you say people without Shin Megami Tensei experience like it. I say this game doesn't make any sense at all, period. I say, like, I had a line I made up while I was playing the game, which is, that makes sense if you don't think about it. And that's pretty much exactly Persona 5. Everything makes sense if you pay it zero thought whatsoever.
Well, it's literally a 100-hour blockbuster movie. The game. You don't think about a blockbuster movie when you watch it. You just enjoy it. You pick up some like things to like maybe talk about, like, or some one-liners or some cool moments.
Lunch. Let me explain Persona 5 to you in the most simplest way I possibly can, as to the method of how it makes no sense at all. Imagine you're at school for a whole year. You're at school. It's high school or something, and then every single teacher and subject and everything you've been learned and all the requirements, all your stuff, just sporadically, at random, without reason, changes into something completely different and stays that way for God knows how long before it changes again. So one day you're going to math class first period, then you wake up, you go to school, you walk in the math classroom, and it's a science classroom, and there's a completely different person you don't know. And you're like, wasn't this math class? And you pull open your notebook and it's math notebook. And you're like, okay, so I'm not crazy. I wrote down math notes. What is going on here? And no one draws attention to it at all. And your teacher just starts talking about snakes and shit. And you're like, excuse me, isn't this math class? And you go crazy. And eventually you get used to it. You're like, all right, it's science class. I guess I was crazy. And then you walk in the front door and suddenly it's space class. And you're like, what? And you check your notes. No. This was snake class. Now it's space class. What's going on here?
This was snake class.
Well, I never really did anything in school anyway, so I don't think I'd fucking notice. But I guess I can understand where you're coming from.
Oh, so that means you'd like Persona 5. That means you'd like Persona 5. That's all that matters. You don't pay attention.
Lunch is too
You're the prime audience for it.
Lunch is too smart to enjoy Persona 5. That's why, like putting my own personal bias aside, because I admit, I am very biased. Trust me. Even putting it aside, I probably am still biased. This game makes no sense at all, and it has terrible characters that are all awful to each other. People keep talking about the music. I personally don't like it, but whatever. I've lost that battle, apparently. Everyone and their mother is going to tell me it's a great soundtrack. But, like, looking at the facts, looking at the story, looking at the rules, looking at, like, if you want to pick this out to the most microscopic level, characters do not stay consistent from one day to another. And one in-game day is like
Dizzy, it's high school, and they're figuring themselves out.
Hold up. I thought one of your main complaints about your characters was that is that they don't have a full arc, meaning they stay the same throughout the entire game.
No, I mean they have sporadically different characters. An arc is growing up, a character acting differently, and not to mention too, this isn't even me talking about their personalities. This is me talking about what they're doing. Like, one character is like, there's a part in the game where the Phantom Thieves realize that they've been set up, and then one of the characters is like, now, it's too hasty to believe that we've been tricked. And then that's the last thing he says. The conversation ends. The next day starts, and the first thing that immediately the first thing that happens is he goes, "How could we have been tricked? Who did this to us?" And I'm like, you just said that it's too early to say that.
Well, guys, it was too early. Then he waited 2 minutes, and it was like, now it's been enough time.
Yeah, I know.
It's
that's what I'm
perfectly
saying.
consistent.
And every single character just has absolutely no faith in themselves. Like everyone's like, "Oh no, we're totally doomed," and then a Joker's like, "Don't give up." Like, that's literally all he says. The words "don't give up," and they're like, "Yeah, you're right. Let's keep going." And it's like, okay, we're all bipolar, I guess.
Well, the other problem is like there's essentially 3 different versions of each character. There's there's like normal day, like, oh, you see them around, you talk with them, character version of them. There's the Phantom Thief planning stuff version of them, and then there's Social Link version of them, which is completely different and should not be considered the same character.
Yeah, they're all 3 completely different characters.
Yeah,
I remember before I did my replay, I remembered someone said like their favorite character is Futaba, and I thought about it, and I was like, the only thing she ever does is be a Deus Ex Machina and be an asshole. Then I replayed the game. I did her Social Link, and I'm like, okay, I like Social Link Futaba. I hate plot Futaba. Social Link Futaba has a character arc, but it amounts to nothing and is completely ignored.
I don't get what you guys are complaining about, because it sounds like this game has 3 times as many characters as the average game. There's more to enjoy. In a big game, you don't cover a lot of distance. What's wrong with you people?
No, I do not need 3 cats telling me to go to bed when I want to go out and party.
Morgana, leave me alone, Morgana. I'm trying to study. We should do that tomorrow. I'm gonna die, you fuck.
No.
Oh, just imagine you coming home like you've been deathly poisoned. You've got like a few hours to like go to the hospital and like call an ambulance or whatever, and then like Morgana's like, "Hey, you should study or you should go to bed." It's like, Morgana, I'm literally dying here. Yeah, you should go to bed.
It's like a ProZD skit. He's like, "Where the fuck do you think you're going?" I gotta go out and talk to this person. No, you gotta sleep.
No. It's like you grab your phone, you start dialing the thing, and Morgana just knocks the phone out of your hand. It's like.
He just stares at you very close to the screen, grinning. It still fucks me up that Morgana's a guy.
Morgana's not only a guy, he's a human now in Royal. He's like, I have a human form, and he's naked.
I'm incredibly curious who they're gonna have voice human Morgana, and
they're gonna change his
Royal.
voice.
Well, because they can't have fucking Cassandra Lee Morris voice a human boy that's like a teenager. Like it works for mascot version.
He's like,
why not?
Oh, okay, then I'm just gonna be. This is me. I'm Morgana. I'm human now. I talk like this. This is not really how Cassandra Lee Morris sounds, but same effect, I guess.
I mean, you do sound like a teenage boy.
I'm like totally Cassandra Lewis. Scoop.
I am.
Oh God, Shaggy. I'm Cassandra Lee. Oh my God, imagine like. I don't like the voice acting in Persona 5. And a lot of it doesn't come even back down to the voice actors. It's weird direction from Japan. Like do you guys know the memes of the name pronunciations in Persona 5?
No, really?
Ironically, the voice acting is like the one thing in Persona 5 I don't shit on. I wouldn't even say it's stellar. It's just fine. I just don't have any problems with it. I'm like,
the voice acting's fine. The voice direction's terrible.
They got Laharl to voice Shinya, who was that character that everyone knew for his baseball cap, and then everyone forgot about him.
Yeah.
What a memorable character. He had a hat, and then we don't remember him. And he had like the best freaking story in the game. Shinya had like the best story, and he's the one that became the meme and then was discarded like trash. You're right, Shinya. It's not
like
over
our show.
Wait, so what's this about?
It's not over when you lose.
Name pronunciations or whatever?
Okay,
so enunciate the wrong part of the word. So
how would you pronounce the name ANN?
Ann?
Ann.
Yeah, no, it's on in the game.
What?
Yeah.
That's not even how they pronounce it in the Japanese version. They pronounce it Ann in the Japanese version, but the Japanese director said the English people need to pronounce it as on.
Well, that's.
Yeah, they wanted them to say the names wrong for some reason.
It's propaganda, so they can look at the English folk and say, "Look at these idiot foreigners."
And then
they
get
joke,
all like
but
the last.
Japan is notoriously petty.
And then they put the emphasis on all the wrong syllables in the last name, which is the Japanese fault. Like instead of like instead of it being like and Tamaki, it's and Tamaki. Where
no, it's Takamaki.
Takamaki, yeah, or it'd be Takamaki. It'd be Takamaki.
It'd be Takamaki, but they say Takamaki, and it's always weird. But again, too, I don't actually. You're on this rant on your own, Try, because I don't care about the voice acting enough to get mad about it.
But like, it's not even a problem in the other games. Like Persona 3 and 4, they pronounce the characters' names correctly. Like.
Yeah, but you know what else they did in Persona 3 and 4? Makes sense. So fuck that.
You know what else they did in 3 and 4? Have consistent themes.
You know what else they did in 3 and 4? Be consistent from one fucking day to another.
Well, I mean, I think it's safe to say that Jack Frostmas this year is going pretty good then. Not that long ago, it's like, what do we gotta do? Just complain about the same things we always do? Ding, ding, ding! Sorted.
No, but Jack Frostmas is the one day we can take the filter off and we can just complain. Oh man, Jack Frostmas next year, that means Disney will have played Persona 5 Royal, and then I'll probably play Persona 5 Scramble, and we can talk about that next year too.
Don't talk to me about next year. Can you believe I've already somehow been given spoilers for Royal? And all the spoilers make me think the same. All the spoilers make me think the same thing I told Tar or Try about them. Not Tar, sorry. Tar doesn't listen when I yell about Persona 5, and you know what? He's smart for that. He's got the right idea.
Tar is probably the smartest member on the cast.
Me, brain is big. Too.
Basically, I think everyone's smart except for me because, obviously, I mean, have you seen my track record? Clearly, I'm not smart.
You're intelligent, you're just not smart.
I'm not intelligent either, Try. I re-downloaded Dx2 of my own accord.
Oh, excuse you, so did I. I am a 4.0 GPA student who fucking re-downloaded Dx2 after a year of not playing it.
Lunch, if you were how would you feel if you played a game where off the bat it's like you're the chosen one, and then for the next 6 straight hours it's just the game telling you that you're shit at everything and should kill yourself, and then at the very end of the game, the great choice that you apparently were chosen to make is fuck the planet or fuck the planet slightly differently.
At least
what great storytelling!
I mean, at least regular Shin Megami Tensei is subtle about it. Like, at least some ideology is going to win out and something's going to survive and thrive. But in DX2, there is no subtlety. Just everything's
no, but DX2 is okay because there's a lesbian with cinnamon rolls in her hair.
That's her whole personality, is being a lesbian. Like
there's literally a part in the last level where like someone is almost this woman is almost murdered, killed, and possibly raped, and then lesbian girl saves her only to molest her.
What?
That literally happens.
Like lesbian girl in DX2 makes lesbians look bad.
Why Japanese people?
It is incredibly.
Japanese people.
It is an no. Atlas has a bad. Atlas has a bad track record with this thing, anyways. But its best representation was Persona 4, and people don't even like Persona 4.
People don't even like Kanji in Persona 4. They say it's bad because he didn't turn out to be gay at all, even though that wasn't about him being gay. That was about gay stereotyping in general.
Yeah, well, it was more about the masculine and feminine roles, where it was like, because Kanji has feminine traits or things what we considered like feminine, people were like, he had this fear of being gay, where like with him it's like his whole arc is sexuality doesn't matter. And what you do doesn't matter. You're just you, and you love who you love.
That's nice.
But then he turned out to be straight, so it's bad.
Even though, like, it's clear that he's probably closer to like being bi than straight.
And then people want a gay social link in Persona, and I'm like, no, not even. I have nothing against gays. I don't trust Atlas.
Yeah, no, I don't trust.
You want a gay social link? Like if you make a gay social link, it'll be a guy, and his entire social link will be, man, I sure do love dicks and hunky men. Yeah. That'd be his whole social link.
Oh no! His whole social link will be like, oh, I don't know if I'm gay, or I don't know if I'm gay. And then and at the end, you'll be like, he'll ask you if you want to date him, and then if you say yes, he'll be like, it'd be cool. And then if not, he's like, well, I don't. Like, then I'll be like, oh, well, I guess I'm not gay. All the alternative, he becomes super gay, and he becomes like, oh, yes, I fully embraced my gayness, and now it's like...
That's actually my favorite superhero. The people...
full gay.
Was
gay embracer.
Going back to that thing earlier about cinnamon lesbian girl. My other favorite superhero.
That Mel, if you're listening, draw cinnamon lesbian girl right now.
Please.
If you're listening, why?
That's my wife.
Why have you stuck this long?
You're talking about how she saved someone from potentially being raped and then molest her. I think that's kind of I've seen. I don't know if that's just because she's a gay character, because I was watching the King of Fighters 3D animated series for some fucking reason. Because I don't know.
3D animated series?
It's jank as hell. I was mesmerized by how how weird it was. But there's a scene where this chick that Terry Bogard is stalking this chick because she has information on his arch nemesis or whatever, and she almost gets raped in a hotel room, and then he jumps in and then he beats up the dude that was gonna rape her. And then they just go on a date, and then they just have a normal conversation about sandwiches, and it's they're flirting, and it's she was just under extreme trauma, that was actually pretty realistically rendered, and actually really tense. And now it's just I think Japan just doesn't know what the fuck is going on.
Went out the window with Terry Bogard.
Man, sexual assault and Shin Tensei. This is peak bros in a landfill.
No.
Oh, no.
I hate Terry that you're right about that.
At the very least, it sounded like Terry Bogard was being nice.
Yeah, but it's about
weird stuff.
Yeah, it's just.
I know. Don't get me wrong. I get you. Yeah, that's a serious whiplash of oh my god, that's so horrible. Now we're just eating sandwiches.
Yeah, it's they don't realize
so,
that's
by the way,
actually super.
Hobbies?
That can be a scarring life event, you know. And then it's
yeah.
Okay, well, guess I'm just back to wacky hijinks.
Yeah, wacky hijinks. Whoa,
that show's super weird, by the way. I feel like
that's
if I
also
tried, I could do a whole.
I
feel like I could do a whole episode talking about how fucking weird and jank and kind of good but not good the King of Fighters 3D animated series is.
Actually, that exact scene happened in Persona 5, where a character gets molested and almost raped, and then 2 minutes later it's wacky hijinks. In fact, it happens twice within close succession to themselves, and it's the same character.
Man, don't include a story about sexual assault in your game if you're not mature enough to handle it with the proper seriousness.
No, but that's
it's everyone's
really
favorite waifu, Haru, the person who almost gets raped twice, and then she immediately goes on a date with Joker instead.
Doesn't the same thing happen to An though too? She almost gets raped by
An is the treatment of An is bizarre. Okay, I don't know if any of you heard me talk about how horrible An is and how no one mentions it, but it's the beginning of the game. An is in trouble because she's everyone sees her as really slutty and stuff. And she's the Kamoshida is trying to rape her and shit. By the end of the game, An is literally using her body to manipulate people.
Wow, what an arc!
What what an arc! Great. Oh, and the funny thing about Persona 5 is that even though people are changing, even though your main characters are beating up these horrible people and stuff, they're never in any different situation. An is still being sexually harassed. It's just by her teammates instead of her horrible teacher. No one still likes Ryuji. He's getting bullied by his teammates instead of his classmates. Yusuke still hates everybody. No. It's just now he hates his teammates instead of his peers.
I guess
Makoto is still being used by everyone. Futaba is still a shut-in. Haru still has no control over her life. No one is anywhere.
No, just to show how bad the Ryuji how badly Ryuji's treated. Even when he has his big redemption arc at the end, they still beat him up afterwards for no good reason.
Yeah, Ryuji narrowly escapes death and then is beaten unconscious by his teammates.
What?
And like,
yeah,
and
that
like he nearly sacrificed himself to save his teammates. And when it comes out that he just magically survived, like with no good explanation why he magically survived.
Which is actually one of the few things that's not explained that I don't have a problem with is like, how did Ryuji survive? I don't care. I'll let that one slide. But then they just but then his teammates beat him into submit. They beat him unconscious. He literally goes limp.
Yeah. And you just stand there and do nothing about it.
Yeah, you don't even have a say. And then
that's like, okay. In a good game like Persona 4 or 3, it would have given you the option to step in.
In a good game like Persona 4 or 3, they wouldn't have beat the shit out of their teammate into submission.
Yeah.
Freaking Teddy like stole all the girls' like body measurements, and the most he got was yelled at.
What?
Teddy's cute. He gets away with it. He's
what?
Because your Persona 4 main casts aren't violent psychopaths.
Well, but they've also just like accepted that Teddy's a creep, and that like if he crosses any boundaries, they'll let him have it.
Hey, Troy, I wanted to ask you something actually about that 5-hour video that you watched.
Yeah.
Did it say anything about the fact that after you defeat the big villain of Persona 5, or not the big villain, I'm not going to name any names in case Lunch ever plays this game and then asks me what the fuck I'm talking about and says it's totally super great and shit. But like, you beat up this big bad, and it's like, yeah, you saved the world, and then you come home and your guardian is gone, and then there's like a news report that's on. It says like, oh, it seems this person was kidnapped and murdered and stuff. And then like and you're like, oh no, my guardian is dead. But then he walks in the door and it's like, oh, he's all right. And it's like, what about the other guy? No, aren't you supposed to be heroes that stop crime? Oh, this guy was brutally mangled.
No, but the worst part about that is that
it's played for a joke.
It's played for a joke. Right after, like, we just had the fake out of Ryuji dying.
Yeah, we had the fake out of Ryuji dying. We had a second person's fake out, and it's all just undercut as a joke. And I'm like, shouldn't we go change this guy's heart? The guy who just kidnapped someone and brutally murdered them?
Yeah. But
don't you think?
Pulling back into like the whole, like, I don't know the situation around like Goro and P5 Royal, but if it's a death fake out where everybody thought he died and like, because Goro has more stuff in Persona 5 Royal. If it's a matter of him not actually dying and like surviving, and it's like, just
I was gonna say like
I thought Goro was that big guy with the 4 arms.
That's a better Goro. That is a better Goro.
Is it okay if I imagine him for this entire conversation?
Yes, please. In fact, don't say his. Yeah, actually, we're just gonna call him Goro for this.
Actually, Lunch, for the thumbnail, I want you to draw like a love child fusion of Goro Akechi and Goro from Mortal Kombat. It'd be hilarious. Please do it.
I want to draw a cinnamon lesbian girl.
Cinnamon lesbian girl tries to romance Donut Chan.
Draw them both doing like a Mortal Kombat fight.
No. Cinnamon lesbian girl trying to romance Donut Chan, but Muffin Senpai keeps getting in the way, and she also makes swoony eyes to Cupcake.
Make Goro do like a fatality on Cinnamon Lesbian Chan.
Oh no! He eats her. Well, Goro does kill people.
Okay, then have Cinnamon Lesbian Chan do a fatality on Goro.
Okay. You know what's funny I guess he's got 4 arms, so he's not human.
Morality doesn't exist in Persona 5.
That's racist.
Here's another question for you, Try, about that 5-hour video you watched. Did anyone mention the fact that Goro is this guy who apparently I guess he's the big bad who made everything horrible happen and killed people for over the course of 2 years, manipulated evidence, and tried to murder you, but then it's okay because he's a teenager?
Yep.
Like all your main characters just forgive him, and then they put all the blame of all his crimes on someone else.
I mean, I sent you that quote from the video where it's like and
then Murderer Man writes himself out of the story because he didn't want to be here anymore.
Yeah. It's like, well, everybody feels bad about the Murder Man who wrote himself out of the story because he doesn't want to be here anymore.
Yeah, it's like everyone's so mad at him for trying to murder you, but then it's like, no, it's okay because he had a bad childhood.
Akechi has done so many horrible things out of his own free will.
But no, it's okay because his mind was twisted by a person who he willingly chose to work for and seek out.
No, well, his mind wasn't even like really twisted by that person. He like.
No, that's what they're saying. That's the excuse. That's what they say.
I know, he did all these terrible things so that he could work for this guy that was horrible.
Yeah, that's the thing. But no, it's okay because he's a teenager.
So is it cool if I imagine Goro Akechi as Joaquin Phoenix's Joker.
Yes,
but you could also picture him as Goro Majima from the Yakuza series.
Goro Majima
I don't know who that is.
Goro Majima is cool. You take that back.
I probably should take that back. Goro Majima, like in a Persona game, would be much better than like any of the Persona 5 characters.
I also
Goro
probably
Majima...
mispronounced Mr. Phoenix's name, and I apologize.
I think it's Joaquin Phoenix.
Joaquin? Like
I don't know.
Oh boy, is that Joker on the Joker stairs?
and then people like Akechi so much, he was the only Phantom Thief color skin in Smash Ultimate.
It's Smash Brothers, man. It's just the colors, dude. I'm sorry that you're so upset about these color schemes just because they want to represent some logos.
Okay, so guys, you want to hear some really
my problem with that last week. If you didn't watch that, you can't give me shit, just like I can't talk about My Hero Academia anymore.
Want to know something really weird and crazy? So
What's something
Persona
really
5,
weird and crazy, Try?
So Persona 5 Scramble has like this, like you'll get like free DLC if you have Persona 5.
I'm sorry, Persona 5 Scrabble?
Scramble. Did you watch last week's episode?
Come on, Lunch. It's necessary context.
Disney made that joke already.
Damn it!
Sponsored by Persona 5 Scramble.
Well, it's a good joke, alright? We could do it again. This whole episode's a rerun.
It is! That's not even a joke.
Yeah, it's not. But Persona 5 Scramble on the PS4, if you have Persona 5 save file saved under PS4, then you get like bonus DLC stuff. I think it's like music or whatever. But obviously, Persona 5 isn't on the Switch, so how would you get that DLC? Oh, I don't know. If you have Super Smash Bros. Ultimate save file saved on your Switch, then you get the same DLC stuff that you would get on PlayStation 4, and I just find that really weird because, like, Joker's in Persona 5, like, Joker's in Persona 5, everybody.
Really? Give
it a year. Give it a year. He won't be.
I know. Joker's in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, obviously, so that's the only representation of Persona 5 on the console. But like, it's just weird to think that like, oh, if you don't have Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, then you won't get this DLC. Which is a shame because I was actually thinking of getting Scramble for the Switch.
Why not just make the DLC free if you have a copy of Persona 5, then pay $10 otherwise?
No, but like it's reading your save file saved on the thing. Like, I'd have to prove on the Switch that I have Persona 5.
I mean, didn't you buy all the freaking DLC outfits for Persona 5 when it was new?
Yes, I regret every cent of it.
Yeah, don't bother with the DLC, man.
I got the DLC outfits because they came with music from their respective games, which were better than Persona 5's.
It came with music from their respective games that you hear for all of 10 seconds and then the fight ends. You know why no one listens to Last Surprise? It's because the fights don't last long enough for the song to start.
Well, no, people listen to Last Surprise, but the only time people listen to it is the first few minutes of like the opening whenever it's in a meme that died like after people started playing Persona 5.
How is it that like people got sick of the battle theme when it like okay, you say this a lot, Try. You say like, okay, I've got a brain for RPGs. I figure shit out really fast, like how to break the system immediately. But it's like the game tells you, knock down all your enemies and then kill them with all-out attack. And it's like, okay, and then you do that for the entire game and it never stops working. Fights just take 10 seconds.
As long as you know your enemy's weaknesses. As long as you know your enemy's weaknesses.
Oh, you mean those weaknesses that they tell you?
Yeah.
Or this enemy is weak to psychokinetics. Okay, bomb.
Or they don't have like any like fizz or drain or null like physical attacks, so you can just critical spam all of them.
Oh yeah, and if you get Swift Strike, the game is over.
Yeah.
Oh, and you get Swift Strike at level 20.
Even like in Persona Q2, like Lucky Punch and like Lucky Strike or whatever, like that completely breaks the game because like
people kept saying that Lucky Punch and Miracle Punch were like so good and that you shouldn't have got them so early in the game. And I remember back before I even finished Persona 5 for the very first time, I had no idea what anyone was talking about because I never used those moves, and I still just kept killing everyone in one turn.
Well, Lucky Punch and Miracle Punch aren't that useful in Persona 5, but in Persona Q2, in a game where you have bosses you can't knock down, but has this silly mechanic where if you hit a weak point or critical an enemy, and like they're not knocked down, you get like a collaboration attack with your people. If you're facing up against the boxes and you're using Miracle Punch every turn to always hit a critical, then you're constantly outside of like just bad RNG where the things like the attacks don't initiate. Yeah. You are essentially at every turn using Miracle Punch, than using a super strong attack against the enemies.
It's like
against the boss.
spamming. It's like using a Pokemon ability Super Luck with Night Slash with scope lenses. Your opponent's dead. Everyone dies. Basically. No one is happy.
Yeah, Morgana is absolutely broken in Persona Q2 because like that's the one game you don't need to knock down the bosses and just need to keep hitting critical and weak points.
Do you remember the part where Morgana at the beginning is like, I need to get my memories back, and then all the way at the end of the game he's like, I still don't have my memories. That's my character arc.
Hey guys, my name's Morgana and I'm a human.
I objectify women because it's funny, but I hate people who objectify women.
I still can't get past how like Morgana is an awful person, but still but hides behind his victimhood, and people just like write it off as like just forgive him or whatever, like just give it like oh whatever.
It's because everyone except for Makoto and Haru hide behind their victimhood, and Makoto doesn't get to hide behind her victimhood because she's being abused by everybody, so she's a legitimate victim, and Haru just doesn't have a personality. Haru can't say that she's being victimized because she has no say, period. Everyone is so busy talking about how hurt they are. Meanwhile, Makoto and Haru, the two most hurt characters, can't say shit.
Haru's biggest problem is
that what a massive social commentary for the world these days.
Haru's biggest problem
that
is
no one will notice.
Lunch didn't like that one.
Lunch didn't like that one.
Haru's biggest problem is she comes in so late in the game that like most people aren't going to do her social link. Most people aren't going to use her in the party, and she has nowhere to go and grow as a character. I mean, granted, nobody else grows in a character, but you don't even get much time with Haru before the game's actually over because immediately after you have...
I refuted that because I thought the same thing too. Then I replayed the game, and then I got angry because I'm like, oh, no, they had time to do stuff with Haru. They just didn't. Oh, no. Haru has way more screen time than I remembered her having, and I'm like, oh, no, they could have done shit, but they didn't. Now I'm angry. Now I'm angry. Before I felt bad for Haru. Now I'm just mad again. Now I'm like, oh, wait a second. You had the entire third half. You had the entire third half.
Huh?
Yeah. third. The entire final third.
That shows how the game's way too long. It has a third half.
It has a third half. It does have a third half.
Because it should have ended fucking a whole half ago.
Third section. You had the entire third arc. That's the word. Third arc. Is it that word? Third something?
I understand what you mean.
Well, it's like the third quarter.
But I just forgot the phrasing, and now it's driving me. It's three things have a 3-act structure. So she had the entire third act, not third arc. Third act. She had the entire third act to have character development, and she didn't have any of it.
One of the things that amazes me about Persona 5 is like how like front loaded and how busy the game actually is. Like when I'm thinking like there's 4 dungeons before like summer, and like 4 very long dungeons like before and during summer, and then like the back half of the game is like 3 like dungeons. The back half. I mean, the back half of the game is 4 dungeons, but like there's. As opposed to like Persona 3 and 4, it's like there's so much constantly going on that it feels like you never get any good downtime. There's way too many dungeons. There's way too the dungeons are too long. They're always kicking you out of the dungeons to do random bullshit.
Oh yeah, that's like the worst thing ever. It's like the game's loading screen is like, take your time, but it's constantly giving you like week-long cutscenes, or you'll like go into a level and then you'll hit an impossible to pass roadblock, and then the game will tell you to piss off, spend another day, and then come back, and then leave again, and then come back.
Well, it's almost like the game didn't want you to be doing any of the life simulator aspects and just wanted to push you back into the dungeons.
Yeah, it's funny actually because you said that the director said that he wanted the Phantom Thief stuff to be like a cool break from the mundanity of boring life, of everyday life. But then the Phantom Thief stuff is the most boring shit in the game.
I know. My favorite parts of the game were when you were just doing the social links or the daily life stuff, and like breaking the monotony of going through the dungeons and the grind and the
fights.
And they never lasted long. They never lasted long enough. Like
no, but it's cool because Morgana turns into a car.
Yes.
Morgana turns into a bus, and he flies them over mementos, and they jump out of the bus and land, and they have to get their guns.
This game sounds
I
fucking
swear
rad.
to God, if they add Joker to Fortnite, I'm gonna go insane. I will literally go crazy. They added Batman. Batman versus Joker in Batman versus Joker in Fortnite. I gotta see it. Make it happen now, Epic. Make it happen. Throw me over the edge.
Anyways, my final thoughts on Persona 5 before we start wrapping things up. My biggest complaint about Persona 5 is that it doesn't have cool sunglasses Hitler and his kick-ass boss battle theme.
Wait,
fuck.
Oh.
I'm mad at you now, Trey. You've ruined this. You've destroyed the sanctity of this holy religious holiday. Yeah. How could you?
Hitler.
We talked about rape twice earlier.
Hitler in Innocent Sin is probably one of the best bosses in okay. One of my favorite video game tracks is Hitler's theme in Persona 2 Innocent Sin.
One of your favorite video game tracks is Hitler's theme?
He just has a guitar.
It's kind of like a play on the whole theme of the game, the musical motif of the game. But because it's used in the opening for 1 and 2.
Oh God, we are so canceled right now.
Part 1 and 2. Punching Hitler in his sunglasses face in the game and just wrecking him is probably one of the greatest Persona moments.
I hate that people say this.
Okay,
this is why I hate
because
Persona
what is a
fans
game
so much.
if you cannot punch Hitler in the sunglasses?
In Persona 2, Innocent Sin, in a world where rumors are coming to life, some jackass decides to spread a rumor that Hitler and his holy Lance army thing has come back and are gonna take over. And so because it's a world where rumors are real, that happens, and Hitler and his robotic army invades the entire city you're in.
I'll say this.
So this is
hang on. This about
this is a world where
this is massive Persona 2 spoilers, by the way.
This is a world where rumors become reality. Oh no, that means that in Persona 2, the guy from Blue's Clues really did kill himself by shoving pencils up his nose.
And this is no. Before we start, can I just say, that whole shit about Hitler and stuff is part of the reason why I get so mad about Persona shit, where it's Persona 2 was a really long game about a lot of themes, but then because of Persona 5, Persona 2 exists as two things: street cred and that game where you fought Hitler. That's the entire game has been boiled down.
No. It's also that one color scheme for Joker in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Yeah, exactly.
A true legacy.
What I'm talking about.
A true legacy.
The whole torture, the whole suffering, everything the characters endured, the character development, the story, everything, it's all gone. Persona 2 now just exists as street cred and that game where you fought Hitler.
Well, if you don't want your game to be remembered for a gimmick, don't put punching Hitler in it.
It wasn't a gimmick. It was a whole story that had purpose and meaning and climb, and all of that is gone now.
Persona 2 Innocent Sin is still my favorite Shin Megami Tensei game, hands down. It's probably one of my top 5 video games I've ever played. Ooh. Innocent Sin is phenomenal, but Hitler with sunglasses is still hilarious. Let's be real.
I'm not saying it's not hilarious. I'm saying that I'm angry that you've condensed 40 hours into one sentence. And that's just what Persona fans do now. That's Persona now. Persona 5 is a game where the Phantom Thieves fight society.
That's the thing.
That's all it is.
Persona 2 is such a complex and
everything is simple
game.
Now. Everything is simple.
Yeah, but that's the funny. It's with a Persona 5, it's so simple. It's just Phantom Thieves go beat bad adults. Adults evil. That's the entirety of the game. Adults evil. You've summed up the entire experience.
Yeah, it's
adults evil rip off masks to summon powerful ghost thingies to punch people.
That you then return the mask onto your face somehow.
Can't believe Persona made Kids Next Door boring.
It did. Oh my God.
And this has been Bros in the Landfill, signing off for real this time.
Okay.
That's probably a good idea, Tar. This could have gone on for another 2 hours easily.